ma'am.
Afternoon, ma'am.
My name is Priyanka and I'm a psychologist at Fortis Hospital. And before we begin, I would like to tell you a little about the session that's going to be happening today. It's on study and exam skills in the digital era. So before we begin, I would request everyone to just put yourselves on mute. And if you have any questions, you can just write it down in the comment section and we will get back to that after the session is over.
Before we begin, I would like to welcome Ms. Priyanka. She has already introduced herself and the topic that she will be introducing. So good afternoon, Priyanka ma'am. We are really privileged to have you with us. And I'm sure that the session that you're going to take with our students is not only going to help them in the digital era, which, since a few months that the students have been handling it. But apart from that the exam skills, when we saw that, okay, you have this facility of, providing our students with these exam skills in the digital era, I'm sure the students will not only be benefited, but for all the future years, this is going to be helpful for them, because I guess this is the in thing now, even when they go to the university or to the college or anywhere in future, I'm sure, digital version is something that, we will not be able to do away with. So I guess this is going to be continuing in all our lives. So we are really privileged once again to have you with us, and we thank Fortis for this, and to you. Over to you, Priyanka ma'am. And students, as Priyanka ma'am has just said, that you can write down your questions, and later on in the end we can have a discussion. Am I right, Priyanka ma'am?
Right. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And so today's talk is basically going to be a very light, and most of the things that we talk about today will be used, and you maybe are already using it while you do your online classes and examinations. So let's just begin. So 2020 has been a really different year when it comes to talking about school and anything else. So in this year, we learned to adapt ourselves to the new different kind of learning techniques, basically going online from physical classes to school and tuitions. And now we have moved on to online classes. So when it comes to doing things online, the challenges that we faced during COVID times, how it is different from what we did in school before. Right now, we've had a long break from school and in-person interactions with our friends, teachers, and our focus on study is completely through an online medium right now. And there is a difficulty in managing our daily schedule, and increase in screen time. So increased amount of screen time is one of the most important things that we need to talk about today, which we'll focus on later. And difficulty in sustaining focus and motivation. Definitely long screen hours sitting in one place and learning online, just looking at a screen, is definitely very difficult to, handle, and maintaining our concentration over there can be a little more difficult. Lack of outdoor activities. Now, due to lockdown and all the other things that have happened during the whole year, outdoor activity has been a little off right now, and due to that, it can be a little overwhelming for all of us, and we will learn with this webinar how to handle ourselves at home and even with school and online classes. So now when it comes to exams, hello. Okay. So when we talk about exams, previously we used to have a lot of different kind of things that we used to focus on, like maybe checking our seating arrangement, and our exams were mainly on paper and pen. We had to write down everything. There used to be physical invigilation. We used to be seated in a classroom with a teacher around, and there was no technological knowledge required back then. But right now, our problems are a little more different than previously that happened. Now it's more focused on checking on a study space at home, looking for a place figuring out a place to sit and attempt our examinations. Internet and computer-based exams. So now all our exams, from being physically present over there and writing it down on paper, have been changed to internet, and now we have to do everything online, and some digital proficiency is needed. So we need to know how to operate a computer and how to log on to our exams and Zoom meetings. So what we need to do now is, we just don't need to study hard. We need to also work on studying smarter. We need to understand what to do and how to do it at the right time. And we need to also manage our time. So when we talk about time management, we need to prioritize our time based on what is mainly important and what is not. So when it comes to prioritizing, how do we think it is? So our priorities mainly focus on our friends, our family, online classes, homework, sleeping well, hobbies for extracurriculars, food, our eating habits, and exercise routine. So keeping some time for physical activity. Well, in reality, this is what our schedule looks like right now. We're dealing with online classes. Our movement is very limited. We can't step out of the house too much. Social media. So now that everything is online, we are basically focusing all our energy on being online, using laptops and phones all the day. And our sleep is also affected. So how to manage our time? How to prioritize our things? So this is a technique that we'll talk about, and I'll use a simple example on how to prioritize our work in school and even at home. So when it comes to, let's say you have an exam coming up, let's say it's a geography paper coming up and you need to work on it. So now, if it is useful, yeah. So if our paper is due soon and it's also important, so that is the thing that we should focus on first. So we will study for our geography paper first. And then we also have some homework to do. So let's say we have our math homework, but that you do not have to submit it for another month. So what will you do first in this case? We will definitely study for our geography exam that is coming up soon. And then we will prioritize it that way. So try to make something like this. Yeah, I'd like to mention one thing. Coming up, we'll be having a lot of worksheet kind of things which you can note down in your books. So even if you don't get time, we will get back to that after the webinar is done. So just have a look at this too. We start with the most important task that we have at hand. And if it is due soon, that should be the task you should focus on first. Mainly, we should try to prioritize our tasks in such a way that we finish it in the second window. The second window is the important and not due soon. So when you see that you've been given some task or an assignment which is important, but even if it's not due soon, that is when it should be started. Activity scheduling. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. You can just take this down in your notes. When it comes to activity scheduling, we can just write down all the activities that we have at hand. This is something for us that we can use in our daily lives to make it a little more easier, to make our schedules easier. So we note down all our activities, and then you can write down the expected time that you think you will finish it in. So for example, I have to study for my English exam, and I think that I will take 45 minutes to complete one chapter. So that is where in the expected time, I will write down 45 minutes. And then once I'm done studying, in the completed time, the time taken. So for example, I did not finish it in 45 minutes. I took a little more than that. It took me an hour to finish my studies. So this is where I will write down the time taken or completed in. So this is where I'll put down 1 hour. And this can help me see what went wrong and what happened And why did I need the extra 15 minutes to complete my work? Was I distracted? Did I need a little more time? Or did I just make a really rigid kind of a timetable for myself and thought that it can be done? So this is where you can see how much time you require for each topic. This is another way of maintaining a timetable for yourselves. So all of us have had timetables when we were in school. We used to have like each period at a time, like half an hour we had English from 6 to 6:30, say that way. So this is just how we organize our entire day, the same way we used to do at school. And over here, what you can do is you can just put down your entire schedule of the day. You can put down what you do in the morning, exercising, afternoon, sit down to study, but keep some buffer period for yourself in between. Say for 6 to 8 p.m., you plan to study for a paper, but it also takes a little more longer to finish your studies, and 8 to 10 you have another thing to do. So keep a little bit of buffer period between 8 to 8:15. So over there you can take your time to relax. Also, if you need a little extra time to finish up the previous thing, or if you need some time to start earlier. So once you make your entire daily schedule, try to keep some buffer periods, 10 minutes everywhere. The right environment. So this is extremely important when it comes to writing our papers, exams from home, and even attending online classes. So as I can see, a few students are also, sitting at home in their bed or maybe on the sofa. So this is very normal for all of us right now, maybe attending our school and meetings from home. So we do not have a proper corner or a set place for us to study or attend our meetings. So the first thing that we should do is maintain a fixed study corner. So it can be a study table, just arrange it well, declutter your study corner, keep it neat and clean. Do not study on the bed and avoid TV or music while studying. Also keep all other gadgets away and have as minimal distractions around you. So if you have some space that is pretty quiet in your house, just take all your books, notes and everything and keep all your things in one corner. So when it comes to even studying after your online classes, make sure that you study in the same place and not roam around the house, maybe on your bed or something. So you know that all your things are at one place.
Yeah.
Now, the most important question, how long should we study at a stretch? So when it comes to studying, the maximum duration that we should study at one point should be at a 45-minute stretch. And during this 45-minute stretch, focus on only one topic and try to avoid new topics and subjects on a single day. So when you pick up one topic, just put your focus entirely on that and do not try to mix it with different subjects. Highlighting important words. So when it comes to highlighting important words, try to use different color pens and highlighters to mark important words, and the color coding helps us remember better. Chunking is another technique to study. So chunking is a method in which we make connections between key points. So let's say we're studying history, and history has a lot of dates, right? So when we're studying history, try to make key points. You can just write down the date with the year and what was the event that happened on that day. So you just write the date and the name of the event. So when you do that, you can have a single memory chunk and you can remember the entire plot, what happened on that day and what was the whole event. Use mnemonics. These are memory tools, flowcharts and graphics. So what if it helps you, what you can do is try to make notes, colorful notes of what you are studying, and all kinds of flowcharts. You can make flowcharts of events. Again, we come back to history. So we start from one date and how it led to different events that happened after that. So you can make like a timeline of dates over there. which can help you understand the entire event in a better manner. Now, let's talk about revision. So all of us just study our topics, and revision is done when? When do we revise our topics? So it is also based on proper facts and researched on that revision should be done on day one after we have done studying. So let's say that today we completed one topic. So today we studied science and we completed one topic of science. So the ideal time to revise that topic would be tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, the 7th day, 15th and 30th day. So based on research, when we follow this proper revision timeline, it helps us remember and recollect the topic. So try to make sure that if you are doing one topic today, and make a timetable, and in your timetable just set up the time for revision every day according to the topics that you've studied. So now that revision is done, we will try to do some self-tests. What are self-tests? So if you've studied one topic today, just try to take a small test on it, time yourself. Just put on a timer and give yourself marks on how well you scored and how well you understood the topic. So create an exam environment like how you used to write your exams previously in school. Similarly, when you go back to your desk at home, try to prepare an environment the same way, and you reward yourself for each achievement. Self-evaluation. So this is what I was talking about. When you do your self-test, try to maintain a score. So once your self-test is done, you write down the date. So today you took a self-test. So you write down the date of the self-test and what was the topic you took a self-test on. And then you give yourself a score. So make sure you do it yourself and you see that your score is say 3. Again, after a week, you take another self-test on the same topic. You need to make sure that the number, the self-score that you're giving yourself should increase, and where you're lagging. So why are you missing out on that 1 mark? And try to make sure that it's not on the same number and it's moving upwards. Now, improving concentration. So like we spoke previously, that when we're online for long hours attending classes, our concentration generally can go low, and we also do not have that much energy or patience to sit in one place. So when it comes to improving our concentration, try to do these techniques that are mentioned below, which we discussed now. So the first one is take out 15 minutes to listen to any instrumental music and try to focus on one instrument. So this is one technique that we use. Just put on any kind of instrumental music, and in that, try to focus on any one instrument in the song. So say you try to listen to only a guitar when there is a lot of instruments playing in the background. Try to focus only on the sound of the guitar. So you help yourself in trying to improve your concentration by focusing on only one thing. Similarly, the E exercise. So E exercise is the 4th point here. It's similar to this topic only. So you just take out a newspaper, and once you're reading the newspaper, circle out all the E's in each sentence. So again, this helps us better our concentration. Use mandala coloring. Mandala is a kind of a coloring book, sketchbook that provides us with relaxation, and you use these books to color. And next is puzzles and mazes. Try to play Sudoku, crosswords, chess, and guess the word. So these are all memory and concentration boosting exercises that we do. Moving on to exam stress busting secrets. So these are some kind of tips that we use to guide us sail through our exams without any trouble. So very important, one day before exam, everyone gets really stressed on how will we do tomorrow and what will happen. And think about all the topics that we've covered, what's not covered. So basically what you should do first is get proper night's sleep. Do not try to cram up all the night before the exam or try to pull an all-nighter. So avoid in any way to stay up at night and study, and get your proper 8 hours of rest. Indulge in some indoor activities. Now that we can't go out of home, try to focus on doing something that you enjoy, like your hobbies. If you like singing, try to focus some energy on singing. Whatever hobbies that you have, practice those one day before. Maintain a healthy diet. So eat proper food, eat on time, take 3 meals in a day. Revision only. So one day before the exam, try not to read up on new topics. Just focus on revising everything that you've done before, and do not take up new topics on the day. And relaxation, definitely take out some time to relax. Have fun, enjoy what you're studying, and remember that you need to motivate yourself on how to do better. So you have to keep this mantra in your mind saying, I can do it. Before the exam, so now that you're prepared, it's the day of the exam and you need to prepare a comfortable space for yourself. Again, we go back to our comfortable corner where we have set up all our study material. Avoid comparing yourself with others. You need to focus on what you are doing and do not compare yourself with others, and make sure what you are doing is more than enough for yourself. Revise thoroughly, but don't overdo it. So practice revision and try not to, again, do not try to start new topics. And also when you're revising, try not to focus your entire day on the revision. Take out a time, again, follow your daily schedule and avoid any last minute study. During the exam, okay, so now it's time for the exam. So try logging in 15 minutes before. Again, how we keep ourselves some buffer periods. This is how it can help us. So when you log in 15 minutes before, if there is any kind of network connectivity issue or anything, you have enough time to handle that. So check that your internet is working properly, Wi-Fi is working, check network connectivity, settle down and compose yourself. So just make sure that you have some time to focus on yourself, try some breathing exercises, remain calm even if you face a technical glitch.
No, please. I gave Hope some stuff and she gave me a talking giraffe. She gave me a giraffe, I hope.
Yeah. So if you have a technical glitch, make sure that you sort that out and do not get hyper. You can call your teachers and ask them for help if you're facing any kind of a glitch. And again, as I mentioned, deep breathing exercises. So this is one relaxation technique that we use if we're stressed about anything or if we just need some kind of motivation to help us relax. So it's the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 exercise. So we count to 5 when we breathe in. We hold our breath for 5 seconds and we do the same while breathing out. Count to 5. Read the questions calmly and plan out your time. Attempt the easier questions first. If you don't know an answer, leave it for later. So this is extremely easy. Try whatever you see in the question paper, attempt everything that you know, attempt the easier questions. And if you feel like something is difficult, leave it out for later when you have a little more time to attempt it. After the exam. So after the exam, try to avoid getting involved in discussions immediately after the exam is done. Do not worry about what you missed or could have written differently. Don't worry if you faced any glitch. Talk to your teachers about it. If there was a technical glitch, if there was a network connectivity issue, just make sure your teachers get to know about it. Now focus on the next assignment or exam. Resume studies when you feel comfortable. Take some time out after your exam is done. Relax, stretch, and have fun. Have a snack and spend time with your family. So once you're done with your exam, take some time out in doing things that you enjoy. Spend some time with your loved ones, and then once you're relaxed and you have got your sleep, you can start preparing for your next paper. Adapting to the digital lifestyle. So everything now that has gone online, we have our exams, classes, tuitions, everything is online. So how do we take a break from everything that is going on? So screen addiction is a real deal that is happening right now with most of us. We're doing most of our work online. So it is important that we take a break and unplug from the digital life. So in order to do that, make sure that you take some time out to walk more and maintain good health. Remember to wear your masks. So do take some walks, get some physical activity, add regular breaks to your day. So keep some time to take a break. If you're having back-to-back online classes, make sure you take out 10 minutes, take some time to relax and avoid any screens at that time. Pet, plants, music, and arts. So these are all relaxing and therapeutic things that help us get through difficult days and in day-to-day lives. So spend some time planting a tree, make sure you listen to music, do some artwork, and also take some time for yourself. Spend time with family. Spending time with your family is definitely a stress buster, so make sure you do that. Play board games. Now that we're home, these are our options. So once you're with spending time with your family, make sure you do something fun. Take some time out to play board games with your family and avoid going out into crowded places. Now that is something we all know very well, and still we should be following the same rules. So digital detox in digital time. So every time we have our online classes, make sure you leave the study space after each class. Stretch and move around to re-energize. Practice breathing exercises for relaxation. Use gadgets, digital interface, social media sparingly. Keep talking, stay connected with friends and family. So in order to take a digital detox, take out some time where you can spend your time only focusing on what is there in the present moment and avoiding all kinds of gadgets and laptops, phones, everything, and focus on the present. Take proper sleep for 7 to 8 hours. Do not skip meals. Make sure you do take 3 proper meals in a day. Avoid caffeine intake. Explore and indulge in your hobbies. So this is the time where we can make some new hobbies. We can find out our new hobbies and interests. So try out new things. If you've never cooked, try to do some cooking. If you've never danced before, try to learn a new hobby. Follow necessary sanitation protocols. Keep your hands clean, wear your masks at all times. Keep yourself and your family safe. So after we're done with our presentation, I would like to show you a small video which will be like a recap of the whole thing that we spoke about right now.
Ma'am, can you show the previous slide because I could not read? More previous.
This one. So the slides.
Ma'am, can you just show the previous slide, please?
Okay. So this slide asks us what should you do at night if you're feeling sleepy and tired. And what do you think the answer should be to this question?
Ma'am, can I answer?
You sleep.
So if you're feeling sleepy, then you go to sleep and do not focus on anything else.
Yes. Ma'am, can you show the previous one?
This slide talks about studying in the morning again, which we are supposed to avoid. So our energy mantra should be sleep in the night and study during the day, so we can get our proper 8 hours of sleep at night and we're fresh in the morning. So this slide shows our Fortis exam helpline number. And if you're having any kind of help that you need during your exams, and if you're feeling stressed out, we have a helpline number that works. It's a toll-free number, which is available 24 hours a day, and you can connect with any of us, which I will show you later. And now we will just wrap it up. We will just go through the entire topic in a small video that I'll show you right now.
Yes.
Exams are stressful, but certainly not the worst thing that could happen to you. Parents make it difficult, but friends don't make it any easier either. I learned of an approach to sail through my exams from Dr. Sameer Parikh, a psychiatrist from Fortis Healthcare, and I want to share this with you. Let's start with the basics. A table is meant for studying, the bed for sleeping. An uncluttered table without your phone, laptop, or other distractions is the right approach. Study one subject at a time. Make a flexible schedule and plan ahead for the next 2 to 3 days.
Ma'am, I cannot see the screen.
Yeah, ma'am, we cannot see the screen.
Ma'am, we can't see.
The screen is not visible.
You had a stretch.
Can everyone see the screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Are stressful, but certainly not the worst thing that could happen to you. Parents make it difficult, but friends don't make it any easier either. I learned of an approach to sail through my exams from Dr. Sameer Parikh, a psychiatrist from Fortis Healthcare, and I want to share this with you. Let's start with the basics. A table is meant for studying, the bed for sleeping. An uncluttered table without your phone, laptop, or other distractions is the right approach. Study one subject at a time. Make a flexible schedule and plan ahead for the next 2 to 3 days. Breaks are important. There's only that much you can retain at a stretch. Take a short break every 45 minutes. It's a good idea to leave the room at this time. Concentration exercises like striking out all keys from a paragraph or focusing on a single instrument while listening to a song work. Memory pills don't. Highlight important points while skimming. Use flowcharts and mnemonics to remember better. Ever felt like you forgot what you read just yesterday? 1, 2, 7, 15, 30. Revise on these days to make sure this doesn't happen again. If you get anxious, try self-test. Create an exam environment and give yourself marks. This way, you won't need a teacher to tell you what you know and don't know. No smoking, no caffeine. It's a myth that they help. Sleep for 7 to 9 hours. And I don't mean in the classroom. On the day of the exam, be confident. Don't talk about the subject or paper with your friends. And do not try to read at the last moment. Once you have the paper, read only the first question. If you know it, answer. If not, move forward. Divide your time based on the marks for each question. It's not a race. Don't look at the number of supplementary sheets others take. Don't keep looking at the clock. You don't need to be the first one to finish. And once the paper is done, it's finished. So no discussion, no analysis. Give yourself some time to relax before you start studying for the next exam all over again. More importantly, if you need help, reach out for it. Talk to a friend, family member, or teacher. You can always call us on our helpline or write to us at mentalhealth@fortishealthcare.com.
We will also have another video, which is a toolkit for parents, and also teachers can use this to help their children cope.
Ma'am, can you start the video from starting? Actually, I could not see. So right now we saw two videos on exam stress, releasing tips and techniques, and toolkit for parents to help their child cope with exam stress. So if you need to refer to this entire webinar that we spoke on today, it has been totally, it's been put up on our exam stress releasing tips and techniques video on our YouTube channel, which is Fortis Mental Health and Behavioral Sciences. And you can watch that and you can get back on the topic again.
Ma'am, can you repeat the name?
I'll just share the screen with you where you can see the name of our page. So you can also share your success mantra with us, what you do while preparing for exams. You can share that with us, share your tips on how to study and how you help yourself, take breaks and schedule yourself. Share it on our pages. Here they are. Our Instagram page is Fortis Mental Health. Facebook is Fortis School Mental Health. And our YouTube page is Fortis Mental Health and Behavioral Sciences. If you want, you can also write to us on our email ID. And our helpline number is also shared below. This is a What is Stress helpline. So if you're in any kind of stress or if you need any kind of help from us, there are a lot of psychologists always available on this toll-free number 24/7. So thank you for joining me today. And if you have any comments or if you have any questions, you can put it down in the comment section and I'll answer them. And if you want, you can also write to us on our email ID and we'll answer all your questions.
Thank you, Ms. Priyanka. Are we done with this webinar?
Yeah, so the webinar is done. Now we can have a question and answer round if there are any questions.
So students, you all will have to raise your hands, and if you know the process, you can project your hand first, and then Priyanka ma'am can tell you who can ask rather than asking all together.
No questions. If you're feeling shy, you can definitely contact us on our email ID. You can write to us. We can help you out.
We can give them another minute, Priyanka ma'am, and then we'll see in case there is any question coming up. Parents can also ask questions. Parents are there as well, in case there's anything. All right. So as Priyanka ma'am said that, you know, you can write to them and you have the phone numbers also, students and parents, you can connect directly with Fortis. And it was a wonderful webinar, Priyanka Miss. I can, you know, vouch for that on behalf of the students and parents as well. But students, whatever you have picked up, this was, I'm sure, really essential during the examinations now that are just coming up next week onwards for most of our students of the school. So this is going to be really helpful before the final exams set in the month of March. So we also saw the second video that you showed, you know, what parents should not do. So students, this is clear-cut indication for you. This was not for parents alone. Unless and until you don't give a chance to the parents, they will not pressurize you, they will not force you study. So don't give a chance to them at all, right? And parents are doing things for you only for your benefit. There's nothing that, you know, they want or they want to nag or something like that. You all are as good as adults for us now. So do your best. And as Priyanka ma'am said that, you know, you can connect with them. She has come to us through our MES counselor, Yvette Lee, if most of you all must be knowing Miss Yvette. So through her, we had the connection with Priyanka Miss, and I'm sure in future we will be requiring your help, Priyanka Miss. So we will connect with you once again. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Priyanka Miss.
Ma'am, there are a few questions in the chat.
All right. So we may take another few minutes. Yeah, Priyanka Miss, do you want to address that?
Definitely, I'll just go check it.
Is it okay to listen to study music with white noise for studying? Like white noise for studying?
Okay, so this is an interesting question. White noise, when it comes to listening to music during studying, mostly we should try to have as minimal distractions as possible. But if it helps you, if you have tried this technique before and it helped you in your previous exams, then you can go ahead with it, but do not try it during your exams. when you are, you know, you do not have any burden on you, that is when you can try some new technique to learn, so that it doesn't, you know, interfere with your exam schedules and doesn't, you know, it's all right when you can try these new things when you have the time to explore. I get distracted easily. How should I focus better? Right. So this is a very common problem with all of us. Maintaining concentration is very difficult, especially when it comes to online classes. So if you're studying, like we said, that 45 minutes is the ideal time to study at once. So if you are unable to concentrate for even that much of a time, try to take a lesser time for yourself. Try to do half an hour at a time. Take a 5-minute very short break and get back to studying. And also try those techniques that we spoke about before. Try to do some brain games like chess and mental math, Sudoku. Try to play these games. Even the E exercise is extremely important and it's fun to do. You know, just take a paragraph, mark out all the alphabet E's in the paragraph to help you increase your concentration. What and how can psychologists whom you mentioned can help us? So if you're having any kind of stress or any kind of things that you just want to talk about, you want to talk to someone about it, we have psychologists 24/7 who are there to listen to you, there to provide support to you and guide you. Ma'am, what will we do if the helpline number will be busy? So yeah, this is a very common question. Our helpline number can be busy, but do not worry because we put down the numbers that we are unable to attend and there'll be someone calling you back. So don't worry, once if the number is busy, you will definitely get a call back from us. Chunking. Okay, so there are lots of questions about chunking here. Okay. So when it comes to chunking, what you need to do is take out the key points in the topic that you're studying. For example, I took the example of history before. Now let's say geography. So what do we do in geography? There are lots of places and there are maps. So maps can be difficult to understand. So when it comes to geography, take out all the key points. So something extremely important. So there is a landmark and say there is some kind of an event and all these things. So just take out all the key points, you highlight those key points, and that's how you relate to it. So again, getting back to our original example. So there was one event that happened, say in history, there was one date that is extremely important. So you note down that date, and on the side, you can just make a column. So in one column, you write down the dates. In one column, you write down the events. So you can relate to that. So on this date, this thing happened. And then you can form the entire event around it. Like once you're done studying, you write this down, the two important key points, and then you form your entire answer around these key points. Why can't we study in the night? It is very important to get your 8 hours of sleep before your exams. So the next day you are fresh, and even trying to study a new topic one night before, it's going to be very difficult to remember it in the morning. So over there, what you're doing is you're only wasting this time that you have to sleep, and it'll only make it a little more difficult in the morning for you to attempt your paper. You need to be extremely fresh once you wake up in the morning. So therefore, we try to avoid studying at night. I don't want to study online studies. I feel when school reopens, I will study better. So right now, our only option is to focus on online classes because we are not sure how our school and when will it reopen, when and how will it reopen. So until then, let's try to focus on our online classes as we do not know how it's going to be in the future. And thanks a lot for all the questions. And if you have any more questions, please write to us on our email ID that's been given, and we'll try to answer all your questions there. And you can also refer to our video if you have any more doubts regarding this PPT. Thanks a lot for attending, all of you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Ma'am, there are a few more questions in the chat.